Welcome to your daily dose of dopamine. Watch out for Deadpool's asleep because we're joined by BJ, who's just emerged from one right there, and our pal Susan. And that's really, we're doing our alliteration of D's correct because our daily dose is focusing on a day one program, our new storytelling program with the movie Deadpool. Now, for people who know Deadpool, BJ, as someone who knows and is a fan of, why would this, from your perspective, briefly, make a good film for this program?
Well, first and foremost, it's a love story. But second, not everyone is, very deep and moving and everything else. Some people need a little bit of snark with their heroes, and it adds an element of fun. Sometimes you can lay it on real thick, and this is a way of taking the same journey for someone who may need a little bit of comedic relief with it.
It is. It is. I think falls under the side of the meta analytic because Susan. While I'm going to come to you in a second, you're not aware of this film. You're aware of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Just broadly, right? So it is this huge thing that took over. Just briefly, Hollywood said comic book movies don't work except for the rare exceptions prior to really Iron Man, right, was the beginning of this. And there were lots of failed examples of people saying, yeah, we tried, it didn't work. And somewhat famously, M. Night Shyamalan did the movie Unbreakable, one of my favorites, which is sort of a comic book story predicting this. And yet people went, no, no, it never will be. So then come films like Iron Man, which opened the doors and people said, oh, we do like it when it's done correctly, right? Now, about 10 years after the first Iron Man comes Deadpool. So, Susan, what is your feeling about Deadpool as someone who hasn't seen it? Where are you in the Deadpool universe at all?
I have the only thing I can say is everyone who's talked to me who's seen it has said, "This is not for you, Susan. This is not a movie
What
that."
have they told you as to why it's not for you?
Yeah, right. And then BJ comes and he says, "Love story," and I'm like, "Oh."
No, no, wait.
And he
Before you get to
says,
that, tell me why it's not for you. Tell me why they said it's not
"Oh,
for
I'm
you.
sorry." Uh, they alluded to violence and gore and visual stuff that's very hard for me. Very, very hard. Even Invasion of the Body Snatchers, you guys. As long ago as that movie came out, there was a single scene in that movie when the dog was barking, but you could tell he had been inhabited by the force, the bad guy force, whatever. That image still haunts me in my dreams. I'm talking 30 something years ago. I have a visual lock, I guess, and so I haven't seen um, Game of Thrones for the same reason people are like, you would love it, but you would hate it. You can't watch it. So I haven't.
So
So
it's a really good point because I anticipate this to be intentionally divisive, and I don't mean that I'm putting this forward in order to be controversial. I'm not. I'm putting it forward for a couple of reasons. One, it is a zeitgeist type film. It has, especially with this third one recently come out, broken records. People have flocked to this character. He's touched something of the conscious of today's society. But then here's the part that not a lot of people know about and why it relates so specifically to the day one program is Ryan Reynolds, who plays Deadpool. His father had Parkinson's, and he just launched with Acadia Pharmaceuticals a program called More to Parkinson's. And in that, he tells a story about his dad, who died about 10 years ago. And Ryan had a challenging relationship with his dad. And they're very open, both he and his mom, to speaking about that. One of the challenges in the relationship was the way they didn't talk about Parkinson's. Ryan says they talked about it about 3 times. And things like hallucinations and delusions were a big part of his dad's experience, which are a lot of people's Parkinson's experience, but they didn't talk about them. And Ryan feels regret and pain. And he wants people to know there's more to Parkinson's. And guess what? That's who we are.
yep, 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 yep. Yeah.
That's yes and exercise in a nutshell, right? We're here to explore the psychosocial emotional, to rebrand Parkinson's, to say it's not just a movement disorder. So I'm going to leave that as a button. I want you guys to jump off on that in the next dose. Why Parkinson's is not just a movement disorder. And then we'll get back to the Deadpool angle, okay? We'll see you
Okay.
in a minute.
Okay.